Hello, welcome to another episode of Talking About Rock. I'm Rob Edwards. Remember, all our podcasts are available also on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss an episode. You can also check us out on our new website, talkingaboutrock.com. Today we have Heaven's Edge. Formed in Philadelphia in 1987, they were continually plagued by the bad luck. And despite their best efforts, had a hit single and video, Skin to Skin. But they never quite found the traction they needed until now. With musical tastes turning back to the nostalgic 80s, Heaven's Edge have been playing live shows to great acclaim for the last few years. Tragically, their original bass player, Guidotti, passed away in 2019. But they found a kindred spirit to take over his duties and are finally releasing a new studio album, Get It Right. Next, I chat with Mark Evans from Heaven's Edge on Talking About Rock. Okay, let's welcome to the show Mark Evans. How's it going, Mark?
It's going well. How are you?
Oh, very well, man. Thanks. So maybe to start out with the band's debut album, Heaven's Edge, came out in 1990, climbed to number 141 in the Billboard 200. You guys gained a cult following over the years. And you originally started, I think, as a bass player, right? Not a singer?
Yes. And I'm still a bass player. I play in a couple of tribute bands, just for the fun of it, to keep, continue playing. But when Reggie and I started the band, him and I got together and started writing, and we were both already, playing in other bands, but we weren't happy with creatively. So we started writing, then we started a band, and Heaven's Edge was started as a 4-piece band because I played bass and I sang on the demos, and Reggie was like, no, I want you to, let's have you sing.
Be the front man, right?
Yeah, it was the four of us, but we were like, no, it should be a front man. And that's when we brought George in, and then everything just kind of clicked.
And I was reading the name Heaven's Edge actually came from your fans, actually helped you name the band. It was like a suggestion contest or something, right?
Well, actually, the band that I was in a full-time working band called Network before Heaven's Edge. And we were a cover band, club band, but we were trying to get signed. We had a lot of originals and all. And there was another band called Network somewhere. So we were like, I guess we're going to have to change the name.
Right.
So we couldn't come up with one. I mean, as any band, you sit there, just start putting colors together and with an animal, and you just
right, or what doesn't sound too hokey, right. Or
So with Network, we held this contest. We just we put like a suggestion box at the club and tell people, if you have an idea for a name, we might have to change the name, let us know. And we went through all of them, and nobody liked any of them, and the band ended up staying Network. But when I was going through them, the one that stood out to me was Heaven's Edge. And to this day, I have no idea who wrote that down. If they're out there, thank them. But it was a random fan of Network put it in the suggestion box. Network didn't like the name, or didn't want that name, along with the hundreds of others that we got. They actually would have been pretty funny to keep and read at a later date. But the Heaven's Edge thing stuck. And when Reggie and I decided to start the band, I said, well, there was this name, and told him the background of it. He's like, it's perfect. I love it. People try guessing, well, it's got to be, okay, well, it's Mark Evans and it's Reggie Woo. So maybe it was like Evans Reg, and that's where Heaven's Edge came from or something, but that's not where it came from. Though we do have, when you're songwriters and you're doing it professionally, you have to have a name for your own publishing company. So our Reggie and I's publishing is called Evans Reg Music.
Okay, there you go. And also, I think after a time, you guys were also asked to record a song for the Motley Crue Kickstart My Heart tribute album. The band recorded a cover of Don't Go Away Mad, Just Go Away for that.
Yes. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to do it, to get back together again and do it. I mean, it was for a sad, reason. I mean, a good cause, but it's a shame that Vince Neil and his family had to go through what they went through.
Right.
But yeah, strangely enough, I don't even own a copy of that. I'm not even sure who else did anything on it, but I'll have to try and find that sometime.
Right, that'd be quite interesting. And you guys have went through a lot of tough times yourself. You know, the episode performing at the Empire Rock Club in Philadelphia.
Yes.
With George getting shot in the abdomen. I mean, what?
Well, he got shot. He got shot pretty much everywhere.
That's just crazy.
Yeah. Well, it was because we were celebrating the fact that we just signed to Columbia Records, and we had finished a show at the Empire Rock Club, which is up in Northeast Philly. It was one of our, mainstays. We had finished the club, and we're all hanging out, partying, drinking, because we just got signed. We're, celebrating, but we also did have another show at the same club the next day, because I think it was, if I remember correctly, we played a Saturday night, which was an over 21 show, and then they used to do an all ages Sunday thing.
Right, cover both bases, right, sure.
Yeah, and I think we were supposed to be doing the all ages Sunday show the next day. And George, strangely enough, who typically wasn't the responsible one, going, "Hey guys, I need to go home and get some rest. We have a show tomorrow." That night he did. And I can still remember I was sitting on the edge of the stage while they were, fixing things up or whatever. And, decent buzz going, I'm sure. And George had left, we'd all said, "Hey, see you later. See you tomorrow." Right. And next thing you know, he came walking back in the club, and he walks up to me, and I'm like, "George, what's the problem?" He's like, "I think I got shot." And then he collapsed on me.
Oh my God.
And it was the strangest thing. I don't know if his body was in shock, but he collapsed on me. And once he like said, "I think I was shot," he started bleeding, but he was shot. It was a shotgun that hit him when he walked out the front door. And he was shot from down, like he had pellets from his calf all the way up into his neck. I mean, it was the whole one side of his body.
Oh my God. And hopefully they found the person responsible for all this. Oh my God.
Yeah, they found the person, but the courts couldn't charge him for some weird technicality or something.
Oh my God.
So
that's crazy. So that kind of derailed stuff for you guys for a while, right?
Yeah, that slowed us down on doing the record. But it didn't work out timing wise for when the record came out, but in waiting, we ended up, being able to use Neil Kernan to produce the record, which worked out really well. And at that time we were doing it, we didn't think like, let's push it back, 6 months or a year or whatever, just until George is healthy and we can get the producer we want and all that. When in essence, we could have gone in, I could have played the bass parts myself, right, and finished the record and moved on. But we wanted to wait for George because we wanted him to be a part of it. It was, somebody in your family's down, you want to, get them back up. Exactly.
So the next thing a reunited Heaven's Edge actually in October 2013, you guys played the Fire Festival in Nottingham, England, sold out show in Philadelphia, and then you guys were on the M3 Festival, which has gotten to be huge over the years.
Yeah, it's the M3 Festival. What's great about all of these festivals, any of the ones that we've done, and included like the Monsters of Rock cruise, is it's a gathering of like-minded people. They like the same music. They're there to have a good time, and a lot of the same people. There's like a core group of people that will travel to all of these. You'll see them on the Monsters of Rock cruise. You'll see them at M3. Some of them even, when we just played in Philly a couple of months ago, there were people that flew in from Florida and California and stuff because it's what they do. It's, they can afford to, and that's, which is awesome, but they just travel around. But a lot of these same people, it's kind of like a, little family, because each time you go back, you know more and more people. And a lot of the same people continue to come back as well. And you guys figured you weren't going to play together again until you got Jaron, right? Kind of like this is maybe it. Well, yeah, we had discussed that initially because when George had passed, he got sick, and and was gone in under a year. It was very quick, and we were all in shock. We were all mourning losing him, and we really didn't know what to do. But the problem we had is, we loved playing. We love the music that we're doing. We love the fans that we have out there. And we're like, you know what? If we can find the right guy, because we were still getting the offers to go and play M3 or do shows around here, or, or play on the cruise and stuff. And
Because that's when the resurgence really started, right around 2013 or 2012. That's when all this music started to resurge.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and honestly, I think it's just because people that enjoy that music they're all getting older. You know, they've had kids. I mean, if they're, you know, my age or even a little younger, I'm a little older than most, but a lot of people got to the point, you know, their kids were grown or their kids are teenagers where they could go, you know what, we're going away for the weekend to go to M3, or we're going here to go and do this. And so in people in coming out of their child comas and going, I can, you know, I can
Right.
go out and have some fun, you know, outside of the family again, started doing it. And it just seemed like when M3 came about and when the Monsters of Rock cruise came about and a lot of these other festivals and shows that have come up, I think it was just the perfect timing because people were able to afford to go out and see it.
Right. So yeah, so tell us a little bit about your experience on the Monsters of Rock cruise. I know everybody is always interested in going on those. They sell out so quickly and it seems like a heck of a time. I myself really want to get on one, you know, as soon as possible, but there's always a great list of acts going on in there. It's got to be crazy though, because there's multiple things going on.
It's the crew. I mean, M3 is a great festival. They run it. They are top notch. They treat the bands, they treat everybody great. And so that's a top notch one, but it's a regular festival. One band, then another band, then another band, all in the same stage and all right there. With Monsters of Rock cruise, when you get on the ship and once they disembark, the music starts. They have a big sail away concert with one of the main bands, but they take the upper deck of the cruise ship gets kind of dismantled and they build a big festival stage there with the huge lighting rigs and everything else, empty out the pools that are up there so people can stand wherever they want. And so that becomes kind of a main stage. But then also in these immense ships, there's a full-sized theater that probably holds, I don't know, 1,000, 2,000 people in there with a, you know, big stage where they do like Broadway productions and stuff.
Right.
So there'd be a concert going on there and then the concert going up on the pool stage. And then, you know, you might be able to go and see Night Ranger doing an acoustic performance in a lounge somewhere, or John Corabi anywhere on the ship, you know, and it just, there's music going on and you get to see bands in an atmosphere that you don't get to see them in typically.
Right. It's a more relaxed atmosphere and kind of almost a little bit more intimate. And I think they have dinners and stuff with the bands at times too, right? There's packages for that and stuff.
I don't know if they do that stuff, but the thing is even though, you know, there are some of the bands that are, you know, big enough that they're on the cruise, they stay in their area. And then, you know, there is a private artist restaurant,
right,
which is nice. I mean, I've eaten there, but typically a lot of the bands just eat out at the buffet where everybody is. So that's also one of the cool things, because you could be, you know, standing at the salad bar and just go, oh, that's Nuno. Hey, you guys were great last night. And finish making your salad, because everybody's just kind of hanging out.
Right. Unless you're with Kiss and they have all their meals delivered or something to their room or something.
Yes. Yeah, I wouldn't expect to see Paul Stanley or Gene Simmons at the salad bar.
Yeah, definitely not.
But a lot of the bands that are on the cruise, you will just see wandering.
That's excellent. Yeah. So take us up to 2022. Heaven's Edge signed a new deal with Frontiers Music.
Yes.
And you guys released your first studio album in 25 years. Get it right.
If you had asked me even 5 years ago, do you think you guys will ever put out a new record? I would have been, I'd be shocked if it ever happened. And when we got contacted by Frontiers, I was shocked. You know, I mean, they're a huge label. I mean, you know, I know they're not a Columbia Records or something like that, but when it comes to the melodic hard rock, whether it's stuff that new bands are putting out now or bands from back in the day, they're the best at it. I mean, you just look at their lineup. For me to be able to go, oh yeah, I'm on the same label as Journey and Toto and Whitesnake.
Right, they're bringing everybody back and
right.
putting out so much music. I get so much stuff from them, which is outstanding.
Yeah.
And just to bring up, you know, record companies, something that you said a little while back, I read that the president of Columbia Records that signed Alice in Chains, and they were pretty much told you guys, well, they're the future and you guys are the past. Well, guess what? Guess what? One thing you got to learn is you can't see the future, and all things are possible. You never know.
Yeah, you'd never know. We're definitely proof of that, because you just never know. We used to kid around, because certain bands or musicians have their way about them, that they think like, oh, we're gonna this, we're gonna that. But I used to laugh, because we'd be out playing and you'd see anybody that was not taking, I mean, we take very seriously what we do. We want to make sure it's the best performance, but we're seriously just doing it because it's fun. It's not to make money or anything like that. We've all got jobs.
Right, right.
We
Everybody
don't
has
need
a
that
day
money.
job.
But when I get to go up there, it's just for the fun of it. But we used to kid when we'd see people that were getting, really serious about, thinking like, oh, you've got a shot at getting signed. It's like, I used to be like, nobody gets signed at our age. I mean, just have fun,
Right.
just enjoy yourself. Nobody gets signed, and then
Right. That used to be the
like,
goal back in the day, though, right? So like
that was everything.
you got to get signed, and then once you're signed,
Yeah.
if the album does good, then maybe you'll get on a tour and you'll open for somebody, and maybe things. It's not that way anymore, because you can put out music right
Mhm.
away.
Oh, it's crazy now. I could make an album in this little tiny bedroom that I have in my home, that's now my studio. I could make an album in here. It wouldn't sound
Right.
like it right, but I mean, it's possible for people to do that, and they do, and which is great that they can do it. But it makes trying to understand the music business, jumping back into it all these years later, it's changed so much.
It's
I
a
mean,
totally different animal than it used to be.
there wasn't digital
Right.
back then. There wasn't an internet. There
Yeah.
weren't cell phones. I
Yeah.
mean, come on.
And I kind of blame some of what happened on the record companies, because they didn't jump in on all this when it started to change, right? When you saw the change go to digital and things like that,
Mhm.
you could have put something up and said, okay, Warner Brothers, $20 a month, I'm gonna stream these many artists from Warner Brothers or
Yeah.
Atlantic or whatever. They could have had something to do that. Would I pay $20 a month to do that? Sure, why not, right? You would do
Oh
that, right?
yeah. It's just like, I give credit. It's got nothing to do with the music business, but it's the same thing with all the streaming. I give credit to, like, say, Netflix.
Oh,
Because
hugely, yeah.
Netflix was, you ordered, DVDs in the mail
Yep.
and everything. And you'd think, okay, well, DVDs are going away. I guess Netflix is done. No, they were forward thinking and said, no, this is how we're going to do it. This is where the future.
Yeah, and they actually brought their idea to Blockbuster, and Blockbuster laughed at them.
Right. But now it's the standard. I mean, now
Right.
and that's what if the record companies had done that, you're right. It would have been no different than getting your Amazon Prime channel or your
Yeah,
Apple
and I
TV
understand
channel.
about being scared about the change, but you got to be forward thinking. It's
Yeah.
going to happen anyways. It's what I mean. These things are going to happen. And now, when Steve Jobs came out and he said, "I want to put all your music on iTunes for $1 or something," everybody's like, "No, you're not doing that." And guess
Right.
what? Now it's streaming all over the world.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you miss the boat on these things, you don't at least explore it. You never know. But
Right.
so that kind of brings us up to date. The new album. Tell us about writing and recording the new album here. You guys got.
It was interesting. After we got signed, right after we got signed, I got sick. I had an aneurysm with a lot of complications. We'll put it that way. So I was laid up for quite a while, and so that kind of delayed things, because Reggie and we had been writing all along, but not at the we're writing a new album pace. It was more like, oh, I had this idea popped into my head kind of thing, just for the fun of it.
Right.
Because we weren't signed and we weren't looking.
Right. It wasn't any complete songs or anything.
Yeah. So it was just like, if we come up with something cool, maybe we'll add it to the set or something. And but after I had recovered, Reggie and I kind of, started to buckle down, and our drummer Dave had introduced us to an incredibly talented guy named Jacob Bunton, and we worked with him on on 4 of the songs on the record that were songs that we had finished or almost finished, but we knew we had something special, but it was just kind of missing something, and we couldn't figure out what that little thing was. And in a lot of cases, it was like, oh, I just changed this one line right here, and then you go, wow, that's brilliant. I don't know why I didn't think of that, but it just made everything better. So Jacob came in and kind of helped us on, like I said, on 4 of the songs. But working with him, Reggie and I have a certain chemistry together, and it's why we've, kept together our friendship and kept together creating all these years. even though it slowed down for a period. But then we got with Jacob, and it was the first time we had done that with anyone else. And the chemistry was just as easy with Jacob as it was with Reggie. And luckily, Reggie and I both felt that way about Jacob. And it kind of sparked our creativity because we were listening to the way he approaches things, whether it's how he was approaching things musically or lyrically. And it just kind of, it gave us a little, burst of energy. And that helped us just finish writing the rest of the record after we worked with him on those few songs. And we're looking for it. We have another 2 records to do for Frontiers at some point down the road. So hopefully we get a chance to work with Jacob again. But it was amazing to get to write this record again with Reggie, and then to work with Jacob. But then getting into the studio to do the pre-production after, we sent the songs out to all the guys, they learned them, and now we're going to get together and play, and everybody's going to put their own little, sauce on it and make it, put their flavor there. And getting together with the band and playing the songs for the first time was friggin' awesome. And that was something that back in the day we would do every week. Reggie and I wrote every week, so it was a new song every week. Here, guys, here's a new one. Here, guys, here's a new one.
Right.
But this to get together after all these years with all these brand new songs was so cool. It was awesome. Definitely. And some very great tracks on there. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to check out the track for When the Lights Go Down. And we'll be right back here with Mark Evans from Heaven's Edge on Talking About Rock.
But I'll be fine. One more last goodbye. When will the memories make her smile again? She said I could just tell you what you wanna hear, but time's not letting go of all the wasted years. Dreams hide in empty bottles, sad stories fill the novels like before. Standing up just to fall again. When the lights go down and the city sleeps, without a sign she can barely breathe. Broken down in shattered dreams, tears keep falling down like rain. Under the moonlight she can take your breath away. More broken promises, she'll never be the same. And all her yesterdays, they seem so far away from everything. Maybe tomorrow everything will turn around. Just one more second chance as angels hit the ground. Her scars will never fade, and secrets are told again. She can't find her way back home. She's not the girl that she used to be. When the lights go down and the city sleeps, without a sign she can barely breathe. Broken down in shattered dreams, tears keep falling down like rain. I've seen better days, but I'll be fine. One more last goodbye. When will the memories make her smile again? When the lights go down and the city sleeps without a sound, you can barely breathe. Broken down and shattered dreams, tears keep falling down like rain. When the lights go down and the city sleeps, just one step away. When the lights go down and the city sleeps.
Okay, we're back here with Mark Evans on Talking About Rock. Just checked out some of the tracks there for Get It Right. Great stuff, man. I've been listening to the album for the last couple days. I'm really excited for you. It's great to have that coming out, and possibly some other stuff coming from you guys as well. You were alluding to maybe doing
Yes.
some other writing, doing
Yeah,
that.
we're writing now again. The record deal that we got from Frontiers was actually for 3 records, which I thought was funny because I was like, "You 3 records?" I'm like, "You know how old we are, right?" But we like a challenge, and so we're going to continue writing and hope that the next one is as good, if not, hopefully maybe even better than this one here. But this one here, we are incredibly proud of, and really excited for everybody to get out there, to get it out there and give it a listen.
Yeah, it's definitely very cool. So it's out May 12th. You guys can check it out, Get It Right. And do you have any dates coming up yet? You got any shows booked yet, or anything you're talking about maybe?
Well, we are actually going to be in 2.5 weeks. It was just announced that at the M3 Festival in Maryland on May 6th, when the festival ends, the first night of the festival ends, when Styx is finished, they're the headliner Saturday. The main hotel that everybody stays at down there, the M3 is going to be hosting a record release party for us. So after the show's over, everybody can come back to the hotel. It's free, hang out. We are actually going to have a limited number, but a decent number of CDs, which would actually be kind of like a pre-release thing because it doesn't come out for a week after that.
Right.
And they're telling me we may even have a few copies of it on vinyl. We'll see.
Nice. I know vinyl's hard to get done.
Yeah.
There's so many people trying to do vinyl. So yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I know that they were going to be putting out on vinyl. I just didn't know it was going to be this quick. But we're going to be, and then we'll be doing a short set. They'll have a full stage set up back at the hotel. So we'll do a shortened set there. And then we're going to be doing a set on the main stage at M3 on Sunday on May 7th.
Very, very cool. So if you folks out there want to check out the M3 Festival, you get to check out the early album release party from Heaven's Edge and get your copy of Get It Right. You may get it there, or you may get it when it comes out on May 12th. So excellent. All right, Mark Evans, so great to speak to you today, my friend.
You too. It was awesome.
All right, I hope to talk to you again soon.
Absolutely. Just let me know when.
All right, have a good night.
You do the same. Thank you.